We are currently in a fight for our future in this country, in a fight for your future. The efforts underway to roll back whatever gains have been made in assuring equality and freedom are fierce. Do not mistake that. Our response to it must be just as intentional, just as fierce, just as strong. So I wanted you today to hear from somebody in that fight, because every single person here today must commit to being in it for the duration. If the future for your children is to be assured, everybody has to be up for that fight. And so I'm really delighted to be able to present to you, graduates, someone who can model for you what it takes over a lifetime to persist in that struggle. The Honorable Judson W. Robinson III, whose son, the fourth, graduated from Prairie View and is here today. He is a third-generation Houstonian with a varied and successful background in business, politics, and community service. He received a Bachelor of Arts in Business Administration from Fisk University and began his professional career at IBM, where he excelled as a leader. Ultimately, he entered local politics and was elected to the Houston City Council from 1992 to 1997 as council member at large, position 5. He also served as vice mayor pro tem, where he chaired council committees, including the city's Committee on Business and Tourism, which he founded. Under his leadership, the Hilton Americas Houston and the redevelopment of Texas Avenue in Midtown were launched in preparation for the Super Bowl. After serving on the Houston City Council for 3 terms, Judson worked as an entrepreneur in his own consulting firm. He later accepted a regional vice president position with PSI, one of the country's largest engineering laboratories. Subsequent to that position, he became the deputy commissioner for Commissioner Sylvia Garcia in Harris County. Now, in January 2008, Judson became president and CEO of the Houston Area Urban League, where he currently serves. He leads the Urban League at a challenging moment. To have him at the helm, one of our national leaders fighting for our rights, is a wonderful thing. He often provides commentary on local and national issues and can be seen on various news and information broadcasts, speaking truth. Please help me welcome the Honorable Judson W. Robinson III. Judson.
President Simmons, Dr. James Palmer, Ms. Marilyn Pukalakatha, Mr. Markeem Booker, Ms. Kimberly Runnels, to the distinguished dais of scholars, and to you, the 2021 summer graduating class of Prairie View A&M University, I bid you greetings and congratulations from me and my wife's family of proud Prairie View graduates, distinguished alumni, and from the proud legacy of the Gwynn and Robinson families. The Robinson and Gwynn families date all the way back to my grandfather, who was secretary of his class in 1926. My family is still experiencing the benefits of the Prairie View promise of a great opportunity to have a great future. Nearly a century ago, my grandfather, Judson Robinson Sr., or Big Judd, as we called him, walked this very same campus, met his young Prairie View bride, Miss Josie Bell McCullough, whom he married upon her graduation in 1929. All the way down to my son, Judson IV, PV class of 2015. Trust me, parents, I know the pride that you are feeling as your loved one prepares to graduate from this prestigious university. Give yourselves a hand. Today, I pay homage and share these words in hopes that they will be a reminder to you of the greatness that lies within all of you when you understand that the journey you embark upon today is in fact your journey to your destiny to create your legacy. Today marks one of the many milestones you will pause to celebrate for yourself, a moment to take a breath, acknowledge the well wishes from your family and friends, and truly breathe in the sweetness and excitement of the journey ahead. Perhaps you are the first in your family to obtain a college degree. Perhaps you are a legacy. Perhaps today you became keenly aware and appreciative of the sacrifice parents or other caregivers have made on your behalf to make today possible. Perhaps you are filling a promise to a family member no longer with us, but who always believed in you, even when you didn't believe in yourself. But their voice remained in your head almost hauntingly that yes, you can do this. Or perhaps you're just simply that badass that likes to prove all the haters wrong. But now that this day has come, and whatever motivation you used to reach this plateau, remember it, bottle it, and keep it safely stored in a protected place, safe from the inner and the outer voices of fear, of doubt, and negativity. It is your superpower, your secret weapon. Use it to answer the call when your journey to your destiny to create your legacy is threatened. You see, legacy killers like fear, doubt, jealousy, negativity, ignorance, all attack the human spirit. You must arm yourselves with the opposites of these villains and surround yourselves with positive influences and influencers. How do you do that? Lesson number one, you must cast out all that is negative and embrace only the positive that is good for your journey. You see, we all carry around our emotional backpacks full of stuff, the stuff that's in your head that becomes a burden on your back. In this backpack, we have stuff we need and probably some stuff we don't. And you have enough of your own stuff to carry around. Amen? The good and the bad. The last thing you need is your so-called friends' stuff too. Speaking of friends, would a real friend want to put their drama in your backpack? I don't think so. Get yourself a real posse. People you got and people who got you. That's all you really need. Amen? Oh yeah, I'm a preacher too. As I remind my staff in the words of the great and modern day prophet, Oprah Winfrey, Surround yourself with people who will lift you higher. That's it. You know, Dr. Simmons talked a little bit about fighting and the importance of fighting. And I have the blessing and privilege to fight every day on your behalf. When I look out into this audience and I see you and I see the parents and I see the caregivers and all of you that believe in yourselves and what you can accomplish, and the need to ensure that the policies and practices and the laws are in place are there to support you, it's important that we have each other's back. Because if we're not fighting on the front lines to ensure what happens behind the lines, then the lines don't matter. We have to make sure that we are not only in it for ourselves, but we are in it for each other. You know, many years ago, I had the challenge of a lifetime. I ran for Houston City Council. I was only 31 years old. I was an IBM office product salesperson, woefully inexperienced, not accustomed to speaking or making presentations to any groups, maybe larger than 3 or 4 people. On the Myers-Briggs personality assessment, I ranked as a bona fide introvert, completely scared to death of speaking to people about things that were on my mind or things I thought important. My father, the first African American ever elected to Houston City Council post-Reconstruction, was the complete opposite. He had the looks, the charm, the business savvy, and was greatly respected as an expert in multiple disciplines. He's a respected community leader with experience and an extensive track record of awards and accomplishments by the age of 35 that most people don't assemble over a lifetime. I thought my legacy would be to work in the family business. I was taught the value of work and had summer jobs starting as early as age 12. I was encouraged to be a good student, especially in math and spelling, and even graduated from an all-boys preparatory high school. Until my junior year in college, everything seemed to be on track when suddenly there was a downturn in the economy. I became a young father, and it became apparent that my destiny to create my legacy was about to take a turn. In fact, I graduated into one of the worst recessions in our nation's history, especially for blacks, as many first-generation thriving businesses went belly up. The expectation of climbing the ladder in our own family business and providing in this new role as a parent was now in peril in the blink of an eye. I watched my dad's companies consisting of real estate, insurance, mortgage, media, transportation, and the first black Burger King franchisees in the country all succumb to the devastation of the U.S. economy. The stress of it all not only burdened his mind, but it also burdened his body. In 1984, he was diagnosed with cancer, and after a 6-year battle, passed at the age of only 57. So, what happened to the kumbaya journey of this great destiny to create a great legacy? Well, it was never promised. It never materialized. All life promises you is life itself. We have the obligation and the opportunity to make the best of it and never give up. Our journey, destination, and legacy are not intricately tied together. If life ends at 57 or 107, a legacy can still exist. Lesson number 2, your legacy is a story of what you accomplish while on the journey to your destiny. Let me say that again. Your legacy is the story of what you accomplish while on the journey to your destiny. It's not the duration of the journey, it's the dash along the way. The dash on your headstone one day will tell the story about who you were and the mortal life that you lived. So although my father's life was relatively short by man's timetable, the legacy or the story that he left behind was rich and full and more valuable than any material thing. I was blessed to receive this beautiful gold watch and gold ring from my dad when he passed. And I thought, that's all I got. But what I found is that he was a living testament that allowed me to witness and appreciate the lessons of struggle, hard work, disappointment, victory, celebration, and to value those things far more than I ever could these. It recentered my focus that the aim was not just money, but also integrity, honesty, loyalty, faith, community, and believing in values greater than our personal gain. You must find appreciation for the greater good in all your deeds and actions, even when others don't, and to always let God have a role in your life. Can I get an amen? As my dad prepared to leave us, he would whisper to my mother, Marguerite, he'd say, just find a quiet place and listen. I have prepared for my departure from you, and so has he. And for me, he knew I'd witnessed his life and was prepared to expect the unexpected and be ready for whatever would come, despite what my best laid plans may have been. So when it became apparent that my intended path would be altered by life just as it did his, I chose to just trust him being my father and to trust him being the Father. So I followed my legacy, despite the negative voice telling me what I couldn't do, why I couldn't do it, what my limitations were, and simply what else might be a better consideration. I embraced my real posse and others who embraced me. I listened to the ones who had spoken to me when I was in the quiet places, and I knew that my story would always be that no matter what, he gave it his best. He overcame his fears, drowned out the voices of can't, shouldn't, and ought not, and I believe if we do our part, he will in fact do his. So, fast forward, I went on to become the youngest at-large city council member in Houston's history, the first African American to follow both his mother and his father in an at-large city council seat and turn all disbelievers into believers. Not by gloating, but by proving through hard work and perseverance that I was who I said I was, and I was destined to become who I said I could become. My journey continues in my 14th year as CEO of the Urban League, an organization fighting for the rights of all people, but especially those of the underserved. A position I gained after 30 years of civic engagement and leadership and being focused on the betterment of Black people in particular, but all people in general. And yes, there was a time when I felt my life was off track, headed in the wrong direction, or seeming without passion and purpose. But we must weather these storms as we find our way back to the main roads of our journey, to our destiny, to our legacy. We must welcome the assistance of others who have been our advocates, that are loyal, trustworthy, patient, encouraging, and remind us to stay the course and see it through. Final lesson. In the words of Edgar Guest, let us be reminded that when you are up against a trouble, meet it squarely face to face. Lift your chin and set your shoulders. Plant your feet and take a brace. When it's vain to try to dodge it, Do the best that you could do. You may fail, but you may conquer. See it through. Black may be the clouds about you, and your future may seem grim, but don't let your nerve desert you. Keep yourself in fighting trim. If the worst is bound to happen, spite all that you can do, running from it will not save you. See it through. Even hope may seem but futile when with troubles you're beset. But remember, you are facing just what other men have met. You may fail, but fall, still fighting. Don't get up, whatever you do. Eyes front, head high to the finish. See it through. See it through. See it through. To the 2021 summer graduates of Prairie View A&M University on this 105th anniversary of the university, I salute you and stand by you in your journey to your destiny to create and always fight for and protect your legacy. Thank you very much.